Hi, Ilana from Integrative Health here, and it is another episode of My Story Mondays. I wanted to talk today about commitment and overcoming obstacles with chronic illness. So for me, my chronic illness affected my respiratory system. I also suffered chronic fatigue and an enormous amount of brain fog and even blurred vision. When all this stuff was going on, I was like, what is happening with me? It was just not normal, and I'd never met anyone who had relatable symptoms, so I felt completely alone in what I was experiencing. But see, I'm a singer and I'm an actor, and I knew that I had to do this thing, right? This is my passion and this is my dream that I had to pursue. But the chronic illness was affecting everything that I was doing in this profession and, really throwing these hurdles up against me in order to accomplish my dream. So when I had moved to Japan, I was determined to be an actor in Japan. And I was getting sicker and sicker every day. And I was not getting any answers or support medically. And I really thought that I was going to have to give up my dream and leave Japan and return back to America. And I was really on the verge. But I knew deep down that I was committed to this and that I was not going to let my illness prevent me from pursuing the thing that I needed the most. Nothing in my life would have made me felt more complete than pursuing a career in performance. And so I did what I could and I pushed through. And I do believe that when you have a passion and a drive for something, it is so strong that nothing can stop you from doing it. And that is how I felt about this career move. There was no way that I was going to let my illness remove me. I knew I was in Japan for a reason. I couldn't give up. But this was before I had my symptoms under control. This was before I had a diagnosis. And so I didn't know that diet was a part of what I was experiencing. So I would get flare-ups and I would have breakfast and then I'd go to a voiceover recording where I'd have a multiple page script that I had to read and it had to be on time. And I'd be sitting there and my vision would start to blur and my head would start to fog and I couldn't make sense of the words that I was reading, or rather I couldn't even focus on the words. And I remember feeling like my brain wasn't working and the panic setting in. Oh my God, they're gonna fire me. They're gonna fire me because I can't read the script. And it was terrifying, not understanding what was going on with my body and why were these things happening. I can't read. And of course, after a couple hours, the inflammation would subside and suddenly my vision would be regained and my mental capacity would be revived. And I couldn't understand what that was. And these things were happening all the time. And I am so amazed that when I started finally treating my symptoms, which was through an elimination diet, that one of the first things that I noticed was the brain fog clear and the vision clearing. This pressure that I would feel in the back of my eyes suddenly just dissipated. And it was the most bizarre experience. And I couldn't talk to anybody about this because, who talks about blurred vision and pressured vision when you're, seemingly healthy 20-something, 30-something person? I didn't know anyone who had this kind of issue. And it was affecting everything that I was doing, reading scripts, being in front of the camera, not being able to think on my feet quickly enough, doing an improv class or rehearsing for a theatrical production. I felt like I couldn't keep up. But I was so determined to continue doing what I loved and what I knew best that I pushed through. And I'm so glad that I did. But overcoming these kinds of obstacles when you have chronic illness, it's really isolating because there aren't that many people out there in your circle who are experiencing these similar things. But if you truly love something, never stop, despite the physical thresholds that you might be coming up against. You can push through when the passion is there. If I can do it, you can do it. Have you ever experienced something like this? I would love to hear from you. I'm going to be on Facebook Live, Instagram Live later tonight, and I really want to hear from you. See you there.